Perk up, girl. We start. Hey, y'all. Hey. Welcome to episode number 23 of Theories and Thoughts with Anya.
Fancy.
We had system issues, y'all. That's why we're late. And sometimes it's just too much and it gets on your nerves. Things like that every week. So that's what stopped us this time. What stopped us. So I just wanted to share with you guys that. But rest assured, we're gonna have an awesome show today. You guys remember Mr. J. Barnett? He talked to us about the disconnection between women and men, Black women and men. We liked him so much that we asked him to join us today. So he'll be joining us in a little while, in about 12 minutes. He'll be joining us to talk about some counseling sessions that he's hosting and group counseling sessions and how to stay sane during this pandemic. All right. So with that being said, let's jump on to these. Yeah, I'm actually posting the video. I had to find a better way to do that.
Oh, that's what I'm doing too. That's why I'm looking down. Otherwise, I'm kind of aggravated. I'm
talking to y'all as I post. Okay, that is crazy. Anyway, so first thing in our news, DJs have been holding live sessions on Facebook and Instagram during this quarantine period. I'm absolutely loving it. I've seen plenty DJs from New Orleans that were doing it, and I heard a couple of them. I was able to join in, but not very many. Of course, you guys know that D Nice went live and had 100,000 people, more than 100,000 people on his. So that is just phenomenal. And I think he did like 9 hours straight.
I was wondering how did that work with the 9 hours?
Yeah, I don't know, but they say he did straight 9 hours. That's what they said. Who they is, I don't know. That's just what I seen. Also, entertainments have been going live with free concerts. Last week I told you guys about a couple. This week, plenty. I want to say Erykah Badu did one. Did Lauryn Hill ever join hers yesterday?
Is that a joke?
I don't know if it was a joke. I just seen it and I was like, wait, y'all, wait.
Oh, I thought I saw someone mention her hosted one, but I didn't know if it was actually if she'd actually done it or not.
I don't know, but I seen a mic stand with a hat on it saying that she's gonna join or something like that. It could have been somebody playing. Yeah. It could have definitely been somebody playing, and they play too much. People play too much. I think that it's really, really neat that people are coming together. Maybe this quarantine and this situation that's going on is not all bad. You have some entertainers reading books. They said Bun B was reading a book yesterday. Yeah.
I'm sorry. That sounds so condescending. Maybe we're kind of going back to reading. I just think Bun B didn't probably, because just listen to how you said it. I'm sorry. It just kind of almost seemed like as if to say Bun B has never read a book. But I think a lot of people are going back to basic stuff overall. Just, the things that although, and I think it's a good thing too, as well as at the same time, it almost kind of, I think it's really good. Like I'm saying, people do a lot of things that we we don't normally do or we hadn't done in years. But at the same time, it also kind of makes me think we're still doing a lot of it with or through technology or virtually. And it kind of makes me think about those movies where as you see the people they just start to live in a virtual reality. They're not actually going out doing this stuff. They're actually just sitting at home and they might have on I don't know. So I just hope we don't go to that point. But I really do like just seeing people, you're seeing people spend more time with their kids. Just a lot of different things. You know, we're seeing different aspects of people throughout this time now.
Right. I mean, really, I feel like it's a coming together, even if it's virtually. We're sitting down, we're listening, we're reading. We will be posting books that you guys might want to check out during this quarantine time. I was thinking about even doing podcasts. Of course, I was going to be on there. Thank you. Oh, it was a joke, Lauren. It was a joke. Okay. I just love Sharona. I just want to say that. Thank you, friend, for always being on. She's always on. Even when she was in New Orleans, I want to say she was on just for a little bit during Mardi Gras. So thank you.
Thank you, Sharona.
Sharona is a hairstylist actually in North Carolina, if you guys are interested, and in the Charlotte area. And something that she did, let me just bring that out. She was taking hair questions. And I actually post on my page that stylists, that could be a time for them to teach their customers how to do hair. Listen, getting your hair done is a luxury, but some of us make it a priority, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. However, during this time, you can't get to your stylist. Your stylist can teach you how to do those things or answer your hair questions. So she's Sharona Styles on Instagram. If y'all have some hair questions and all that, she'll go live and she'll answer them. She's such a support here. She share our stuff. She's always talking about her stuff, and she's always online. So just always want to give thanks to those who are looking out for us. Now, we did want to take a moment of silence for those who have passed due to COVID-19. I am wearing this Beckley, the artist Beckley shirt. My friend, his real name is Frank Davis the Fourth, I want to say. I think it's the Fourth. He was actually on, what is that? He was on Sunday Best some years ago, the year that Leandra won. And he's been affected by the COVID-19. My friend Kenosha Perry went to high school with me. My friend Tamika Tamika Williams. Just, I know a lot of people that's been affected by it. My uncle's best friend passed from it. And so we just wanted to take a moment of silence just to kind of think, say positive thoughts, pray, whatever you like to do. What you was about to say? For those who are affected, just want to say thank you to our nurses. I have a girlfriend that's a nurse, and every nurse that I know that may post, doctor or whatever, post on my page or whatever that I know that's out there in them streets, I make it a point to tell them thank you for their services. So we don't want to, leave them out. Postmans, FedEx, Amazon, people, y'all still getting y'all packages, even though,
And let's not forget those retail workers, those fast food workers, because my son is out there, and it's scary, and just he already works overnight shifts, so it's just, I just hate that, and of course, even though they're still using the drive-through method, and I understand that he still has to work, but it's just, I just be so worried about, I'm constantly telling him, you don't know who you're coming into contact with, so just be mindful,
Right. My mom's a bus driver. She's out there in them streets. Chloe works at the gas station. I'm at Home Depot. So we just want to take a second just to kind of just think positive thoughts, prayers for those people that's been affected by COVID-19. What was that noise?
My chair. I'm sorry. Look, y'all know my anxiety, and sitting for a second on a video is just like, what in the world do you do? I'm wringing my hands right now. So I'm sorry, but that was my chair.
Oh, no, you're fine. Sorry for making your anxiety go crazy just now. I just wanted to do like a half a minute real quick, say a quick prayer real quick for those people. And because we want to acknowledge them. We want to acknowledge that. Now, something that I don't like is Cardi B and others are spectating that many celebrities are being paid to say that they have COVID-19. Now, that is asinine. Why would somebody say that they have a disease that they don't have?
Okay.
Yeah.
Just look like when you mentioned it to me originally, I was already kind of open to the idea, like, of it. But I don't know. People might label me like it's a conspiracy theorist. I'm always like, hey, you know what? I would really question it. But I could see there being some truth to that. Like, I mean, I don't know this for a fact. I know it is allegedly, but I could see that being a possibility because everything, you know, the celebrities are the influencers. So, and when we see those people with it and then we see them pull through, then it's like, you know, oh, okay, so that kind of calms your panic, you know, that kind of eases your mind, like, well, so-and-so did it. So it's kind of like painting that visual of, like they're always saying, you know, if you can see it, then you can actually think of it to be obtainable. So that's I mean, and I know that might seem far-fetched to some people, but to me, it actually, like, you know what? I wouldn't put it past them because I don't put anything past the government. So I could see that. I know it's out, and then also, I guess, coming from Cardi, may not be, you know, but I love Cardi, and I think for one, she thinks outside the box. Look, that's my birthday twin, so yeah, I feel her with it. I would be considering it.
Hey, Mariah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what you said is very valid.
Yeah.
What you said is valid. When someone sees someone else pull through, especially a celebrity, they're like, I could get through this too.
Let me tell you,
I can do this too. Hey,
when you said, when you mentioned earlier, like, I mean, you just talked about the people that you know that have been diagnosed. Now, I don't know anybody, like, personally that has actually been a confirmed case, but actually, I reached out to someone today, and I was just trying to see about an interview, and they were like, you know, that they're self-quarantining, and that they had been out of town, and that they said they were asymptomatic. So I was like, well, what you doing? You know, you still up? And he was like, yeah, you know. So that actually, and I told him, I was like, you know, you're the first person that I've spoken to that, you know, it may have it, that knows that. And then that's also, you know, he was like, he think that he's like right in the midst of the hardest part of it. But he was telling me, I think if I'm understanding correctly, because we were communicating via Messenger, and it seems like he was saying like he's more so taking like flu meds, like they're kind of treating him like he has the flu. And but you know, he was like, he's lost about 10 pounds, but he's going to be getting back on the horse or whatever pretty soon. So, and y'all, we must have ran over on our segment time too, because it's time to bring Jay in. But Anya, did you have any closing thoughts on that?
Jay, we have one more minute. I'm kidding. No, I just what do y'all think? Y'all think the celebrities are lying about being sick? I know that Idris Elba's wife has it now, and they were saying that why would she be under him? And she was like, I didn't want to leave him. You know, what's your thoughts on that? Y'all tell us, talk to us, tell us what's going on. And so with that, I would like to talk about our sponsor. Did you, Fancy?
Yeah, it is me. I was just, you know how I am about, again, making people wait. But one more second, Jay. I tried to text him. Our sponsor for the news segment tonight is Arthur Kimberly B. Jones. Just to read you all like a little bit about the summary, is Leah and Sasha are 17-year-old friends who have been close to one another since elementary school. But as the summer approaches, they find their friendship tested in ways that they had never anticipated. Read what happens when you purchase the book, so you all can support Kimberly at her website there. She's going to be in our upcoming issue. We are still working on that. So thank you again, Kimberly, for supporting. And also her Instagram, I thought I had it here, but it is the same basically as her web address. So Kimberly B. Jones, Arthur Kimberly B. Jones, sorry. And now to bring in Jay, because y'all, I really have a thing about like making people wait. Like even if I'm in a store, if I'm in a, you know, it's just, and that's kind of like, I guess it goes along with the anxiety. Like,
hey, Jay.
How y'all doing?
This girl here, where I gotta go that way.
I'm trying to find my little spot here. Okay.
Oh no, it's that way. The thing is crazy. You guys, we had Jay on in February to talk about the disconnect between women and men. This week we have been talking about anxieties, about the pandemic. Jay had actually reached out to me because he's doing some counseling sessions. And different things. So we wanted to bring him on. He is a licensed male therapist. And we wanted to bring him on to talk about staying sane, keeping sane during this pandemic. Jay, can you tell everyone about yourself, those who may not know you?
Man, this is always difficult for me. Y'all know that, right? I hate that part. I am a licensed and marriage family therapist associate. I am practicing at Inside Fitness 360 out in Frisco, Texas, and so we've been very busy since this pandemic. We are seeing clients, and if you want to schedule a session, or you would like to try to get in with us, we are still seeing people, individuals virtually. We're not technically going in the office and seeing people, so we are doing teletherapy, should I say telehealth, that we are offering that to continue to seeing those existing clients and then those that may be new clients. And to allude back to what you're talking about, as it pertains to anxiety, this pandemic has increased everyone's anxiety. I mean, even if you never had anxiety before, you never knew what that was. I mean, I think it's the hysteria that has been developed over these past couple of weeks has put all us in a very unfamiliar place as it pertains to us mentally, because our lifestyles have changed, our work patterns have changed, our family dynamics and family systems has also been interrupted because everyone is at home. I think I just posted a video probably about 30 minutes ago kind of talking about the increase of child abuse cases that we have been receiving. And people were just kind of like, wow, this individuals, we all have our routines and we have our certain quirks about ourselves that, it's just like, man, this is my space. And, and especially, and let's be honest, not every parent is an adult. And so they may be grown, but doesn't mean that they are an adult, and does not mean that they are capable of seeing after their kids in a healthy manner, especially during this time. If you're used to just kind of dropping your kids off school and going on about your day, and the truth be told, there's a lot of people that have reached out to me that are in fear of a lot of kids' health, a lot of kids' well-being because of the parents, and just knowing that these kids are safer at school than they are at home. So very challenging times all the way around, and not just only what we're dealing with from a health perspective as it pertains to the coronavirus, but just our mental and emotional health is in jeopardy as well. And I suspect that all clinicians, therapists, and coaches are going to be very, very busy when this is all over.
Yeah, you said a lot. You said a lot. And I know that a lot of people have been posting on Facebook saying, let's pray for those people who are dealing with domestic violence and those kids that are being that's being abused. And sometimes people don't realize they're abusing their kid verbally, definitely verbally, and even physically when they won't sit down or they're steady doing things. I know there's some funny memes or whatever going around. These teachers need to come get their kids. And people are like, oh, now you're going to realize that your child is doing those things that you're saying that you say that they don't do. What are some things like now that people can do to kind of help their mental? I'm at work. I have this call that's going on, and little Billy over here, he decides he wants to play his drum set while I'm in the middle of my call. Adults can do, people that needs to step up and to be an adult can do to help with those anxieties, those mindsets, those thoughts?
Well, I think one, as it pertains to individuals that have kids, whether they're single or whether they have a spouse, I think what's important is most definitely to have a conversation. And as I said in my video, I think it's great for parents to continue to maintain structure in the home front. And I know I was speaking, was one of my sisters a stay-home mom, and my other sister works in the hospital, and so she's a medical and clinical social worker, so she's still working. and having a conversation with her, she was like, she was like, these little jokers is not staying up to 9, 10 o'clock at night. She's like, they still going to bed at 8:20 because I still have my work schedule. So I still have my, work routine. So I have to keep them in a routine so I can maintain a healthy mental state because she's still working, through this pandemic. And so I think it's important for parents to have a conversation with their kids, because what is challenging is to reprimand a child for something that you have not given them instructions for. And so if you're a parent that you're staying at home and you're going to be working, it's have a conversation and say, hey, listen, May, whatever your kid name is, Tanisha or whatever it is, and say, listen, mommy has to work from this time. And so while mom is working, you can find something to do, or, and especially if most kids are doing school now from home. And so hopefully a parent can interact to kind of get that set up for the child to be working on their schoolwork while they're working. And so at least kind of have some type of structure in order that way there's there's a format that they're following. And it's just not where the kids are extreme anxiety. And she's having a challenging time. She's like, dude, this is a lot, man. Because spring break, my mind was set on they're going to be out for spring break. And when she found out they had additional week, like she almost lost. And I said, hey, listen, man, you got to pull it together because, I have a nephew who's 3, who is just, he's a cute little kid, but he's full of energy. So her energy was for him because the 10-year-old is at school. And now that has shifted, now she has to have energy from the time they wake up until the time these little, boogers are like, oh, we're finally sleepy, because after they finish their schoolwork, there's really nothing to do. And so it just has to be some conversation had, some structure, because if there's no structure, there's going to be a lot of yelling. There's going to be a lot of hostility, and everybody's on the edge, especially during this time.
So go ahead, Fancy.
Well, I was going to say, because I think that is definitely needed, the structure part. And then also just even as you were describing your situation with your sister, like, I do work from home, but my kids are older. So of course it is kind of a difference because they're going to kind of go off to themselves anyway. But also, just as I've just been realizing like about a lot of things in life, as opposed to looking at it like a problem, maybe look at it, like look for the solution, look at a point, even with your sister, just at throwing an idea out there. But if she has a 3-year-old, then maybe she can do to incorporate the help of the 10-year-old to kind of take some of his energy. That's just kind of how I'm thinking. But also just kind of even, with other parents, like try to find a way to possibly implement them, incorporate your child into your day in a way, but then you're still going to have your boundaries there. You're still going to have those time blocks. I'm really big on time blocks, but then also, like I think it is a big part of it is mindset, how you're looking at it.
Absolutely. And the great thing about it, my sister, before she was a stay-at-home mom, she was a preschool teacher. So the kids they're like, the kids are well behaved, like they're well-rounded. Like they have school time, and like she has it set up like a school, for them now. But her thing was just kind of like, and my sister's really big on having her time. Her husband, my brother-in-law is at work. And so what I've been doing is I go over there during the day and I entertain the kids. And while she runs errands, or like she's at the house cleaning up. And so I'm on the floor wrestling and playing around to kind of keep them out of her way until she can do that. And so she goes off into the store to, make whatever run she needs. And so I leave there. Then I go to the other sister house. And so kind of, play with the kids and kind of give them the time, because, I know she's still working at the hospital. And so it's just a lot, because both of my brother-in-laws, one works away and the other one works. And so they work long hours. So it's been great that I've been able to be around to kind of take they kind of balance both of them, in that aspect, because, it's just me. I don't have kids. And so, but to understand that, especially during this time, because, you know, if you're not careful, and I don't think most parents are abusing intentionally. I think it's really unintentionally, because
Right.
you think about postpartum depression, right? So
Right.
I'm very connected to my sisters, and so I've seen them both go through those stages, you know, and just really trying to balance that, and especially, and again, and being transparent. My brother-in-laws are good, but they do work a lot, so you don't really have that balance to really to kind of shift some of the responsibilities, you know what I mean, and kind of shift some of the duties. And when you put in 8 hours and you got to cook, and you know you got to be wife, and you know you got to be, it's a challenge. Oh, and or vice versa for the men who are stay-at-home dads. And so, but you are right. A mindset and everything is everything. And one of the things that I told her, I said, hey, listen, everybody's affected by this. So you're gonna have to go and have a talk with yourself in the mirror, get yourself together. As most parents, as we're all gonna have
That's what I did.
as old folks said, get your, you know what together. Put your big girls drawers on, put your big boy drawers on,
Right.
and you know, do what you got to do.
That's like, I was talking to one of my girlfriends, and I suffer with anxiety. I think we've talked about that. And one of the things is, I said, well, we're going to have a therapist on. And I said, what do you think? And she was like, just be honest with your feelings. I think people are not honest with their feelings and honest about what they're thinking, how they're feeling, and the fact that they may need a moment. You know, I need this moment. So what do you know, for the person who don't have an awesome brother that can come over and entertain the kids, for that housewife, like I have my niece, but she's older, you know, I'm just like, you know, like now I said, okay, we about to start the podcast. She in her room, she good. But I don't, you know, what if a person have that toddler, they have that small kid, they don't have a person to come and relieve them, how do they get that second to themselves? Because sometimes people have a moment by themselves in the car, going to work, coming home from work, that drive, that's their time to unwind and get their minds prepared. So do you have like something that you can help with?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great question. And I think it's important for, if you have little kids, one of the things that I think the biggest challenge that mothers sort of deal with and go through is when the kids are resting, they're trying to get everything done.
Oh,
I
yeah.
suggest when they're resting, you rest. You rest when they're resting. Because if you are trying to get everything done while they're resting, you are always going to feel that you are behind on your rest period. And there are times where you have to take a moment to yourself, whether that's taking for a walk, and what I want parents to always realize, and too, is that, you know, beyond your parent, your role as a parent does not take away from you being an individual. You're still a person.
That's
You know,
good.
you're still a woman. It doesn't take away from that. So it's okay to have your moment. It's okay to tell little Daryl or little Kiki or whoever, it says, "Hey, listen, mommy needs a moment." You know, just, you know, if you can make sure that they good, and make sure that, you know, they have what they need, and if you just need to take a moment to yourself to go in the bathroom and, you know, run some water and just sit there and let the water just kind of ease you. If you just need to go sit outside and read, you know, find times to take that moment to breathe and to just debrief and just to decompress. Because again, even me, I don't have any kid, or, you know, but I was with them the other day, all day. I was with them for about 8 hours. And when I was done, I told my sister, I said, because here's what I did. I went, entertained one set of kids. I drove them to see the other kids because I know they all wanted to hang out, to give the other sister a break. They stayed the night. The next day, we went back and picked up the other kids and brought them back over
Well,
to
you
give
did
the
a
other
lot.
sister a break. And so, again, trying to balance it out. And for me, the next 2 days, like, I'm like, hey, man, I'll see y'all in a couple of days. I can't do this.
I'm out.
That's all I
And
do.
again, and people would say by default, right? I have that luxury because, you know, I can leave them with them. But it's just, for parents, don't feel bad for needing a moment. And don't feel bad if you have a moment where you do snap. Let's just be real. You may snap and you may kind of, go from 0 to 100. However, not only are you showing your child that you're feeling this too, but there's a great opportunity for you to come back and make it right and say, hey, listen, I apologize. Mom didn't mean that. Dad didn't mean that. Everybody's on edge. We're going to get through this together. So doing a lot of encouraging and reinforcing and reiterating that they're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. All of you guys are going to be okay. Because let me tell you something. My DMs have been blowing up from married people. So it's happening on both ends. It's happening with parents and kids, and it's happening with, with couples. Because again, right, when we're having our own schedules or whatever, and especially if you're dating somebody, and let's say you quarantine and chilling with somebody right now, it's cool when you see them a couple days out of the week and you there every day. That's a different dynamic.
You got to talk to them now. You got
a different dynamic for real. So I mean, let's just be real. Like, when patterns change and when certain things change unexpectedly, right? You have to leave room for the unexpected. It's just what it is. Right. And so I think there's no, there's not a blueprint or a manual on how to get through a quarantine, with your kids or with your husband or with your wife or with your spouse or with your bae or whatever. There's no manual for that. So we're all learning.
Now, I have a question, because you've more so spoke from the perspective of a parent working from home. But what about just the fact that even with the social media, we're being bombarded with so much news right now, so many updates that aren't really updates. And then you really don't even know, okay, do I need to go ahead on and watch this press conference or should I just wait to the news article? But then it's just you don't know. I have to just sit my phone to the side. But what are you suggesting?
Well, I suggest on that, take mental breaks to detox your mind from social media. Take social media breaks. And I get it. I have to do it. And I know people are constantly, throughout the day, it's just, hey man, do you have a minute or, can you talk about this? And there's times where I'm like, from 12 to 5, I'm not going to mess with my phone. I'm just going to probably sleep or watch a movie or whatever. So I encourage people to take a break, man. Turn the TV off, turn your phone off, turn on some music, write, do some things that you normally wouldn't do, take a walk, I mean, it's so much that we can do outside of just being on our phone, because our phone has been a substitute, right, for social interaction for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And now, we don't really have the option to interact with people, whether it's through the workplace or at home or at a happy hour. And now all we have is our phones. And so we just have to be careful to bombard our control system, which is our mind, which is your soul, which is your thought process and how you decide. And because again, every time you're seeing these pictures, every time you're seeing a media release or breaking news, all of that stuff, man, is just reprogramming your mind, and it's affecting how you process. And 2, it begins to affect your sleep patterns. It begins to affect just your overall health. And so I encourage people, just try to shut it down and keep it at a minimum. I know what I have been doing is if I'm on social media, there's a lot of kids that I follow that, they make these funny skits. I'm just going through their skits because I want to laugh. You know what I mean?
Just turn to the kids.
Yeah, because during the day, when I'm in real life, in real time, I don't have time to scroll and, be looking at, funny memes and funny, skits and stuff like that. But now it's all right, if I'm on social media, I want to check this guy out. I'm going through all this stuff. Oh my gosh, this guy's hilarious. I'm finding things that are uplifting, things that are funny, even on Netflix. I like to watch a lot of mindless TV when I have downtime. So again, be mindful of your ear gates, what you're hearing, and your eye gates of what you're seeing. And so I think that's very important.
Okay.
That is excellent. I totally agree because I told people, look, stop sending me all that stuff. I'm not looking at it anyway. Yeah. And I haven't watched one press conference. Whatever. I'm at home.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking, especially depending on which network you're watching. If you're watching CNN, of course, you know, it's far left. You're watching Fox, it's far right. So it's like everybody has their view, their theory. You know, whether they feel that it's a conspiracy. I'm just over it. You know, that's one guy I follow. I think I love the brother, but I'm just like, bro, it's here now. Like, I don't care who owned the virus. I don't care why they put it here. It's here. Like, let's just get through it, man.
Right. What do we do?
And literally, I'll follow him when all this is over, but I had to unfollow him because every time I turn on, like, he has some conspiracy theory, you know, explanation to what is going on. Like,
I think you can unmute him. I mean, you can mute him as opposed to, you know, follow.
I just unfollow him. Like, yeah. And
I feel like I did what was best for me.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, man, you better learn how to unfollow people on social media and in real life. You got to do. My mental health in the field that I'm in, I have to listen to, you know, I have to listen to people's problems all day. And again, I love it. I'm passionate about it. But, you know, when I have to create certain spaces where I'm like, man, I don't want to hear that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, because every client that I'm meeting with, we can't even discuss what the pre-existing issues were prior to this. Everybody wants to talk about the coronavirus. Even my kids that are clients, like, they don't want to talk about what their normal, you know what I'm saying, discrepancies are or whatever, you know, the proclivities have been in the past. They want to talk about, you know, the coronavirus. So I'm coronaed out.
Listen, I tell people my mental health is everything. Listen, and I'm an empath and I'm a healer. So whenever taking all that in,
man,
it drains me.
Yeah.
And I start feeling sluggish and depressed and anxiety goes up. My mental health is more important than anything y'all got going on, and I'm good.
Yes. And I encourage people, lastly, please get outside. I'm so glad here in Dallas that the sun is going to be out for the next 4 to 5 days.
It's so
get out and get some vitamin D. Walk, whether it's early in the morning, whether it's, you know, in the evening. Please get outside, man, and let your skin and your body feel some of that sun so you can, you know, kind of wake up a little bit. Because sitting in that house all day and listening to all this stuff, man, garbage, that stuff, it will literally kill you. And people don't, and this is a different conversation for another time, but there's so many diseases that are birthed from stress.
Mm-hmm.
And anxiety, and just because it's just the constant pull, as you said, you know, on you, and just be mindful of that.
Yep, this is disease. So who is that? The You Can Heal Your Life lady. Just ever since I saw her say that, it's always stuck with me. Do you know what I'm talking about? The author. Okay. Well,
listen, since y'all asked me a question, I got a question for y'all.
What you got?
What have you discovered about yourself during this time that you didn't know before this happened?
Nothing.
I don't want to hear the fire alarm.
Look, I think that, I don't know if I would say it's a discovery, but I have like a really strong feeling that I've been preparing for this time for a really long time. Like, I know it might seem crazy to be like in the midst of the pandemic or, you know, quarantine, that this is supposed to be my moment, but I feel like there's something I'm supposed to step up, you know, like I'm supposed to step up in some type of way. And I feel like I've just been preparing for it. And like I've been telling my team that, you know, we've already been working with less. We've already didn't have all the resources and all the, you know, the things that we really needed, or we already didn't do a lot of traveling. So this is kind of like, you know, hey, in some ways it's kind of like, and I said this in the live today, in some ways it's kind of like life is moving more so at a pace that I prefer. So I realized, like, I guess that I like a slower pace of life. I've been saying that. You know, I'm the person that's out at 5 and 6 in the morning to make groceries if I can avoid people and traffic and things like that. So this works for me. I just wish that it worked for everyone else. You know, it worked so well that, hey, we can keep the economy up and going and still kind of continue on this way. And not to mention, when you said it about the discoveries, and I do want to let Anya give her say her part, but I'm sorry, but I'm just thinking about, I know you all have saw that post where it's just like, you know, so all along Wi-Fi could have been counted as a utility, and like, you know, the different things, you know, we could have possibly afforded this, or we possibly could have helped with that. So those are even discoveries as well. Like a lot of those things, we're seeing that things didn't have to be that way. So I'm actually liking this shift. And I also just feel like, and just being honest, I feel like this is kind of, I'm not going to say a purging, but this is kind of like the earth, you know, like this is a holiday for the earth. And whereas I'm not really like a biblical person, but whenever people talk about the end of the world and fire, I think about like global warming. So I feel like right now at the pace that we're kind of going at, whereas we're not so much, you know, there's not as much air pollution. There's just, you know, we're doing things differently. We're being more mindful. And also in a lot of places, I have heard of people being more disrespectful and rude to like people at work. But at the same time, we're also seeing a lot of different acts of kindness take place right now. So I don't know. I feel kind of undecided, I guess.
That was good.
Okay.
My life hasn't changed. I used to work from home anyway, about 5 years ago. So it was nothing to just come home and just start working from home. And my part-time job, I'm still going to that. The only thing that's different now is I don't have Bible study on Monday nights anymore. And I don't take service at church. And I'm not teaching the kids at church. So there's no self-discovery. My life is still the same way. You know, nothing really has changed. I'm enjoying the time that I get to spend with my niece. We've been having movie nights every night, and we did a TikTok. Did you see my TikTok on my page?
I sure did. You guys did pretty good.
You ain't like it, Jay. You ain't like my TikTok. I'm kidding, but no.
I'll be sure to go back and like it. But no, y'all did it. Y'all did y'all thing.
Listen, she told me that I wasn't going to get it in one day. And I told her, watch this. And I did it. I'll be 39 in 2 months. I did that. I said, how do I look? She said, like an adult that's trying to do it.
You look good.
That's what she told me. But there's no self-discovery. It's just, you know what? I'm cooking more. Because it's always been me. You know, I don't have any kids either. And when my nieces and nephews lived with me before, I would have to cook. And then they left and went back with their mom. Now that I have the oldest, you know, she's here, but we very rarely cooked. And I always say we need to start cooking. So if nothing else, cooking, finding recipes. After this, I'm going to make some burgers, some turkey burgers. One of my girls from church gave me a nice recipe because I was like, I don't eat beef anymore.
Man, that sounds good, man. A good turkey burger.
Hey, you know you're down the street. Yeah, pull up.
Hey, just hand it out the door.
I know. Be like, I don't want you to tap it on me because I heard you sneeze a little bit. I heard you sneezing. Listen, but nah, she gave me a good recipe, so we're gonna try that. And just we went and made groceries, and we made like maybe $200 worth of groceries. So the fact that, okay, this is possible, we can actually eat in the house. I don't eat beef anymore, so just I'm still navigating that. So I don't, besides, you know, cooking, that's the only thing.
Yeah. Okay, but those are good though. I mean,
and honestly, I feel like the whole weekend, just like, you know, reflecting. I've actually been doing it for the past 2 weekends, just kind of like reflecting, taking time to myself, and just like really, you know, trying to get more in touch just spiritually. So I don't know, maybe that's why my answer was so long and rambling, but I've like discovered a lot apparently.
But then again, right? You know, this is a time to be very introspective, right? And so I think that, you know, whether it's a long or a short response, I mean, you both, you know, just share, you know, things that you know, and whether you kind of have identified with that now or whether it comes after, you know, I think it's just great, right? Because again, this will end, and I think we all will look back and realize parts of ourselves that sort of emerge, you know what I'm saying, during this time, like, you know what I'm saying, you know, this, I did this, you know, during the coronavirus, you know what I'm saying, and like now I'm kind of have gone back to whatever. So, but no, that's pretty dope. So
that was a good question, Jay.
It was.
Any lasting words that you would like to give our audience?
Yeah, so to Thursday night, I will post this link in my social media. I'm going to open up the group therapy session link group that we're doing on Thursday. Last week, it was really good. It was gosh, I lost train of thought, but it was our pilot session. And so we had about 8 people logged on. It was really great. I gave them a homework assignment, and so I'm going to open that up again, no charge to people. And so, and we're not talking about the coronavirus and things like that. Like we're actually dealing with challenges that each individual has. And so, and again, this is, you know, a private group. What goes on stays. Everything is very confidential, but it's been really great because you know, people are sharing their fears, and they're sharing a lot of things that, you know, that they have been holding them back. And so it's really been great. I do have a comment. Someone says, I've discovered that I need to take a break from life and people a lot more to keep my mental health under control. That's a good one. That's the good one.
That's good, Mariah.
You know what? And that's kind of where I've been, because in 2019, I did so much therapy. It was just crazy. Last year, in the month of March, a year ago, I saw 78 people. I saw 78 people in the month of March.
Wow.
And it was the most out of any therapist at our practice. Because it was just crazy. It's like we had this influx of just like kids, whether it was suicide ideation, whether it was depression, ADHD. I mean, it was just crazy. And so I will say now, being able to kind of do virtual therapy, it's just kind of giving me a break to kind of cut off some of that counter transference, you know, with people, because people, you know, you know, of course, unknowingly, they don't know, but their energy is just bad.
Right.
So I
wanted to say this right quick, with just extra opinion on this, especially since you said this about the month of March. I always remember my biology teacher saying, like, whenever it gets warmer like that, that's when all the fights and everything are going to break out, you know, because it's like the hormones. And he was just like, he's always prepared for that, you know, for that to be the change right there. So do you think that that's like possibly has anything to do with it?
I do think, Fancy, that there's some correlations to the Earth movement, and through some people say the retrograde. I do think there's some correlations there to how we function as individuals. And I do think when the climate begins to shift, you know, people are outside more, because think about it, during the winter months, depression is really high in the winter months. And because everyone kind of, you know, goes into hibernation, you know, everyone is wearing more clothes. And so even our skin tone changes because there's less sunlight.
Sure.
I think what happened is that we sort of have become immune to being in closed quarters. And then all of a sudden, you know, there's a shift in the weather. The weather is warmer. And I think biologically and chemically that our minds and our bodies are not, you know what I mean, being able to process that shifting. And I do think that has a lot to do with it too, because, you know, even in Chicago, they have more deaths in the summer than they do any time.
Right. Yeah.
Any other season. So,
well, you guys,
too, the days are longer. The days are longer in the spring. So when kids get out of school at 3:30, 4 o'clock, you think about, you know, most kids are getting into trouble. Most kids are getting into things after school from the times from 4 to 6, because most parents are not home and settled till about 7:30 or 8. So I can see how that could be in connection to that.
Okay, I was just curious.
So if you want to catch up with Mr. Barnett, he is King Jay Barnett Barnett on Instagram. His website is www.jay-barnett.com. We appreciate you. You always give us another topic to want to bring you on. Now it's like the diseases that stress. We still have that. What was the other one, Fancy?
But we talked about the emotional.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you do have some time. So I did want to touch on just like how the pressure or the anxiety, kind of like the pressure that's building up for a lot of entrepreneurs throughout this time of that overworking. But I mean, we've talked about the resting and so on. So I don't know. We may not even need to do that. But I do believe that there is something there as well. You know, like
for the entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm. Like, you know, it's kind of like, or the creatives, you know, like there's a pressure, and not even necessarily just entrepreneurs, but just people. Everybody's like, use this time to learn a new language. Use this time to do something. Can we just enjoy this damn time as opposed to trying to use this time, you know?
Thank you.
Use this time.
Thank you. No, Fancy, you took the words and the thoughts out of my head. I literally saw people saying, use this time to write out your vision. And I'm going to be honest. I am probably one of the most creative people in my family. I can write a short story. I can write a novel, a love poem, or whatever. But I'm going to be honest with you. This ain't the time to create. Because I'm going to tell you why. I don't have the balance to be able to be totally myself in that space. And guess what? That's okay.
It is.
And you're so right. You know, and for those that are listening, you don't have to feel forced to create, to be prepared for when this come back and all of a sudden you come out like, oh, you should, like, man, sit down somewhere. It's okay. It's okay. And I posted this about 3 weeks ago about entrepreneurs who were kind of looking down on people who work 9 to 5. And I said, here's the thing. It's funny how life changes in an instance, to where now the people who are entrepreneurs wish they had a 9 to 5.
Right.
Because these 9 to 5 people got PTO.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hello, somebody.
Right.
These 9 to 5 people have benefits. They're going to be able to pull. And that's why we got to be careful about following social trends. Man, do whatever works for you. If you want to create during this time, create. If you want to sit down and eat pizza every day and you want to give up on your summer body, that's your business. Do that. That's okay. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, my birthday is next month on the 22nd. And like, I'm always chasing fitness because I'm a former athlete. So it's like, I'm always have this thing. But I'm like, hey, if you don't look like that by 38, so what? You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. And that's what I want to leave people with. It's okay, whatever you decide to do during this time. If you decide to rekindle a relationship with somebody because you guys have more time, that's your business. Stop listening to people say, don't call your ex. So like, if that's your business. If you choose to answer DMs that you wouldn't normally answer, that's your business. Or if you choose to write out a business plan, however you choose to use this time, do whatever you want to do because you want to do it and not because you're led by people who are pushing social messages that may not be the message that you need to hear.
Amen.
Okay, man.
All right. Well, thank you, Jay.
Yes, thank you, ladies. It's always fun, man. I love hanging out with y'all, man. I love y'all's show. Love it.
Thank you. Well, that was good. I hope you guys got something out of that and just doing whatever you want to do, especially the end, because I'm with you. Like, don't tell me what I should be doing and what I shouldn't be doing right now with my time. Let me do what I'm going to do with my time.
I know I almost fell into the trap for a minute, and then I had to like really. That's why it was so important. I think I wanted him to address it because I did almost think for a second like, oh, you should be doing this, and that. But then I realized like I've actually the time that I've been taking to myself on the weekend has really helped me be able to come back more focused with things. I'm looking for something, but I can't find
I was about to say, what are you looking for?
Look, I printed out the outline. I don't know what I did with it when I was rushing, but I can tell you. I can go into the sponsor. I thought I know you had some announcements.
No announcement. I was like, did he just say he'd be 30?
No, that's not what he said. I'm not gonna repeat that man's age on live, but I heard that's not what he said. I heard him, but I'm not gonna say.
Send him a message. Jay, you better be 30.
Okay.
Nah,
but that's not what he said though. But so our second sponsor for the evening is the web series On the Run City to City. Now I kind of came up with this description, so I hope they don't kill me for this, but I thought it defined it best. It's a hood web series about vengeance and heroes filmed throughout Jackson, Mississippi and Atlanta, Georgia, featuring Soulja Boy's manager, Miami Mike. So you all can watch the multi-part series on YouTube. I think it's like maybe 7 parts up as of now, but you all should check it out and support because the most of the crew is from the Mississippi area. That's why I wanted to bring this to you all's attention. And if I put the link here, but also just thinking, I think it's under the Puppet Master channel. So if you all want to check that out, please support, leave a comment, say Swagger sent you. We would greatly appreciate it as we are trying to work more with independent filmmakers. So, what is it? Issa Rae, all those people, Jordan people, they needed Jordan Peele, they needed a shot. Like, let's be the ones to start giving these people the shot. So y'all, check it out.
Well, I just messaged him like, did you just say you about to be 30? Since you wouldn't tell me.
Okay, that was not my business to tell you. I don't know. I know people be like sensitive about their age, so I was like, okay, that's not what
I look good for 39. Watch out there now. Anywho, our lovely Never Thirsty tumbler. They are still on sale for $35. Please remember to go to our website. We have awesome articles on it. It is www.swagher.net. And you can also find the tumblers there.
Yep. Visit the shop tab. Also the issues. There's service, like different services that we offer, whether it be things like a bio, website design, different things are there. So, our shop page includes not only the physical products, but also digital products as well. So you all can check it out, like you said. And I don't have anything else. Anya, do you?
I don't have anything else. You guys put in the comments what y'all doing while y'all quarantine. Tomorrow I'll have some stuff up what our Swagger team is doing during the quarantine and how we're staying sane. So that should be nice to see what they're doing. And as always, thank you guys for joining. This was great. This was a great conversation. Remember to share. I'll have, I think I'm going to put this up on YouTube maybe tomorrow.
That'd be good because somebody was on Instagram saying that they don't have a Facebook, but they did want to watch and support Jay. So
yeah,
and I had some type of glitter lip gloss. I've been trying to wipe this glitter off my face, and I'm not supposed to touch our faces. And it's just been like a lot of.
You've been in your house. You ain't got nothing on your face. On your hand. Mariah, stop it. Anywho, how we're staying sane. That's one of my babies. How we're staying sane here during the quarantine. I will be posting those. I will repost this on our YouTube and on Spotify, on our Anchor app, which sends it out to all the other different places that we are located on, just in case you know somebody who may need this. So be looking on our page. You can see the link there. So as always, thank you guys again for joining us. Anything, Vince?
Nope, we're right on time. Bye, y'all.